This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and today is Tuesday, the 9th of July, 2024. I have for you in the queue 8 stories from yesterday vetted by you as conversational. We'll explain how that worked out, but they are stories covering the gamut, including information, politics, current events, and pop culture news, including Stormy Daniels, Lea Michele, yeah, she's back, and Kevin O'Leary, plus many more. We'll explain the full vetting process in a bit, plus give you some things for the day, some things you probably should know, some fun stuff for the day. So stick around for the entire program for this morning. If you want to get more details about what we do, visit our website. This is aconversationproject.com, and email us for any conversation you want to know about how to do things better or not as worse. Go to the conversation inbox at gmail.com. As we said, we have 8 stories in the queue. We'll explain how they got there and what they are. Now, no particular order as they're being presented, but we'll give you some context to where they sort of fell in line throughout the day on yesterday. And today, of course, is Tuesday, July the 9th. So these are stories from essentially yesterday, teeny tiny bit of Monday included, just for the sake of argument. Let's go to our first story for this morning, and it is a big one. This one, well, looks like Uncle Joe's not making life much better for himself. As the headline for story number 1 reads, Biden sends defiant letter to Democrats, says time to end questions come together. Joe Biden wrote a strongly worded email and sent it out to everyone in the world to say, hey, back it off, y'all. I got this. Although people aren't saying that. Firmly declaring his intention to remain in the 2024 presidential race, addressing Democratic lawmakers and donors in a letter, he urged his party to unite and end the speculation about his potential withdrawal, emphasizing the need to focus on defeating Donald Trump. Biden's message comes amid internal party debates, calls for new leadership, which has actually been going for quite some time, but lately it's been really, really heated. They highlighted the importance of cohesion within the party to ensure a successful campaign and election effort. The real problem with both parties, as I've said in many times, building up to this entire 4 years of this election, is that the parties don't trust their benches, but they need to stay in the power base that they have right now. The Democrats the party wants to go much more progressive, much more left, but it can't because it needs to keep the people in the middle so they keep the power. In the meantime, the Republicans are going very, very far right, but it can't completely because it needs to keep the power going forward. In the meantime, the heads of the parties, one guy's in his 80s, one guy's almost in his 80s, are showing that no one's trusting the folks in their 40s to run things right now. Because if they were, the guys in their 80s and almost 80s would not be trying to run things right now. It just, the fact of the matter is they go for somebody younger, somebody stronger, somebody more capable of carrying the torch going forward, instead of people at the very twilights of their lives, politically and for reals, to be honest. Headline for story number 2. Karen Reed's defense team says jurors were unanimous on acquitting her of murder. This is disputed to a point because it was a mistrial, but Karen Reed's defense team revealed that the jurors were actually unanimous in the decision to acquit her of the murder charges before the mistrial was declared. Reed is a former adjunct professor at Bentley College and faced second-degree murder charges and some other charges related to the death of John O'Keefe, a 16-year-old member of the Boston Police Department who was her boyfriend. The jury also unanimously voted to acquit her on the charge of leaving the scene of the accident. That so says her lawyers. Development led to Reed's attorneys to argue that dismissal of the charges should be all against her. The mistrial came from not coming together on smaller issues, we'll say smaller issues, but the attorney says they were going to acquit her. They were going to let her go, except some minor technicality couldn't come to, so the whole thing was essentially thrown out. The verdict is not the same, but the actual outcome is right now Karen Reed, except for maybe a possible appeal or maybe a retrial of some sort for some new evidence, is free off this one. We're not free of Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels isn't free of the actual, I guess, the ridicule she's getting, and now she's freed up a lot more money, or you freed up a lot more money to help her keep these things going. The headline for number 3 is Stormy Daniels raises $1 million on GoFundMe after going to Rachel Maddow's MSNBC show claiming Trump wants to bankrupt her. From the Robot Art Editor, as pulled from the article from New York Sun, Stormy Daniels has raised over $1 million on GoFundMe following her appearance on Rachel Maddow on MSNBC's show. Daniels claimed that the former president, Donald Trump, is attempting to bankrupt her through ongoing legal battles. In her interview, Daniels detailed the financial and emotional strain these legal issues have issued. The significant support from the public highlights the ongoing interest and support for Daniels as she navigates her legal challenge and the threats she has received from Donald Trump's supporters specifically. Now, this is a complicated issue. It's pretty simple, black and white how it's played out, but it turns something complicated. Donald Trump has long time had a great tactic in legal ease to just delay things or keep suing people, or delay the fact that he's still suing people and push people to the fact that he has enough money, enough time and clout to kind of wait it out, while people who don't have money, time, and clout basically get squeezed. It's essentially how the legal system works for people who are rich and powerful. Stormy Daniels, who people find popular, we'll let you, your mileage will ride on that one, is still getting love and affection from the people who may or may not want to battle Trump, or may not want to endure her, or just like drama, because a lot of us just like drama. We'll see how this thing plays out and whether Stormy Daniels can keep the money coming, whether via GoFundMe or actual legitimate work. We shall have to see on those. Let's move to the story we have that's number 4 this morning. Headline reads, Angel Reese makes WNBA history with 13th straight double-double for Chicago Sky. We teased this story a bit yesterday when we talked about Caitlin Clark getting her first triple-double for a rookie. This is one we teased, and this is one that came down a couple hours. We spread them out a little bit, and you giving love to this story that's going to be lasting for a while. As Angel Reese, is vying for the actual Rookie of the Year title against Caitlin Clark, and a few other folks. She made history, Reese did, as a rookie, beating the double-double record that was held by Candace Parker. And she did it, Candace Parker, between 2 seasons. She basically wrapped up a season and kept it going to get 12. Now 13 owned by Reese for the Chicago Sky. Unfortunately, when it comes down to the comparisons, when Clark gets these big milestones, it's usually in a win. When Reese gets them, they're usually in a loss. That's just how it happens. It came in a loss in the game versus Seattle Storm, but this milestone showing that the number 7 pick overall for the Chicago Sky has things going for it. And with all the eyeballs on WNBA right now, and hopefully for quite some time, we're going to see how much she can milk this one going forward. Milking it not long enough it is a story at number 5. The headline reading, Kevin Costner's Horizon tumbles out of box office, tops 5 in second week. Poorly read, but you get the point of it. Kevin Costner's ambitious film Horizon, an American saga, has struggled at the box office, falling out of the top 5 in its second week. The film earned an estimated $5.4 million at 3,334 theaters, bringing its total gross in 2 weeks to $11 million. Despite Costner's significant investment and efforts, including mortgaging his land, the film has not met expectations. Various factors, including competition from other releases and possibly the audience reception, have contributed to its underperformance. Let's talk about the audience perception. This is a story, essentially, he said, in 4 parts. Parts 1 and 2 are done, 3 and 4 are coming, and the movie is like 5 hours long. Each movie is like 5 hours. It's watching miniseries in the big screen. So the experience is wonderful, but the stories are pretty graphic, pretty brutal, and more like the old West. Not so much John Wayne or even Kurt Russell, but really gritty, nasty Old West stuff that has men being men, women being women, and people beating the crap out of each other as they would have done back in the Wild West days of old. Unfortunately, 5 hours is a whole lot to take on, even if Kevin Costner is sort of the darling of the right and people want something that's more authentic. Here, authenticity is dragging it down, as it's a long haul to sit in the theater for 5 hours to watch something like this. And you must experience it in the theaters so far as it's going. As we said, about 5 hours for each movie, and 4 movies are expected. That's a lot of time watching Kevin Costner and watching a lot of brutality in the Old West, if you will. Headline for story number 6. Boeing to plead guilty to fraud in U.S. probe of fatal 737 MAX crash. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal fraud conspiracy charge and will pay a fine of $243.6 million to resolve the U.S. Justice Department in investigations into the crash, the fatal crash in 737 MAX jets. The plea deal addresses misconduct that occurred before the crash and does not grant immunity to individuals involved. That's one of the key parts to this. The agreement is part of a larger $2.5 billion settlement announced in 2021, which also includes compensation for airline customers and a fund for crash victims' families. This is an ongoing thing. This is a good thing for most part. Most people are highlighting how, one, that did not erase the big settlement and is going forward with folks, and two, immunity for others has not been alleviated. So other people can be chased, can be charged, can be prosecuted, along with Boeing in itself. Now, Boeing's not going to go sit in a jail cell and just kind of chill for a couple of years because it's a company, even though people are companies. But we do know they're going to be hit fairly big, even if record profits, as always said, seem to come about from these headlines, from these stories. They can't make money, but they make record profits anytime there's a record sheet going forward. We'll see how the stock price works and how the profits go going forward. Story we teased yesterday to talk about, and you guys made it happen. We'll explain teaser stories in the feed section in just a second. But first, the headline is Sister of North Korean leader Kim calls South Korea's live fire drills suicidal hysteria. Kim Yo-jong, the influential sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, has condemned South Korea's recent live fire drills near the border, calling them suicidal hysteria. She criticized Seoul for resuming these military exercises, labeling them as provocative and dangerous. The statement comes amid heightened tensions on the Korean Peninsula, with North Korea perceiving these drills as a direct threat to the security and its sovereignty. North Korea is a bit of a paranoid nation. We all know that, to the point where now they're trying to do dirty tricks with the balloons full of garbage. That's something that's on top of that. But basically, every time there's a drill, every time there's an exercise with the U.S. where they have their big joint war games, every time they start doing more stuff near the border, every time they start kind of peeking over that DMZ, North Korea tries to retaliate. They fire rockets. They do stuff like send balloons full of garbage over the border. It happens. Right now, the person who's seen as the second person command, the charismatic, if you will, influential sister of Kim Jong-un, being Kim Yo-jong, is making noise. She is a kingmaker. She is a playmaker. She is big deal in this stuff. And so when she speaks, it may seem ceremonial, but it also may be setting up for them greater things to come. For us, more damage on the way. And finally, I renew my little beef that only I know exists because she doesn't know it with Lea Michele with this headline. Andy Cohen says he almost asked Lea Michele about her not being able to read. Now, Andy Cohen, we had an article last week, I think. It's been out there for about 2-3 weeks. We got there last week or week after last, where he regretted asking Oprah about did she ever consider having relations with other women. He actually regretted asking that question. Here's a question he didn't ask, and he's glad he didn't. He recently revealed that he came very close to asking Lea Michele about the rumors that persist on the internet that she cannot read. Speculation about Michelle's literacy has circulated online for years, leading to numerous discussions and lots of memes. Lots and lots of sweet, sweet, beautiful memes. Cohen, known for his candid interview, mentioned that he thought it might be better to avoid bringing up this one during the conversation, implying that it'd be more respectful to keep your mouth shut in this situation and not let this one go. Meanwhile, Michelle has previously addressed this rumor, actually many times addressed it, calling it the most bizarre thing she's ever heard. Despite this, topic continues to attract attention and humor among fans and media personalities alike, and no, she's not taking a reading test. Now I'm done. So it is time to talk about the whole feeds thing, the whole teaser thing, and what that all means. This is where we go to the part where we do our teaser story of the morning. This is a story that we are teasing because it's in our feeds, and it's a story that you can engage in and tell us if you want to talk about it tomorrow. This is how we get our stories in for our podcast or video cast, whatever you want to call this. We put news stories out on the internet, on our feeds, on our pages on Facebook and X all day, every day, about every 50 minutes or so. And all we need you to do is check us out. You and the internet react to what's going out there, engage in it, and the impressions come up there if you take a look at it. And all you need to do is tell us if it's worthy of chatting up. You click like, click love, click hate, click the little emoji face of your choosing. On X, it's just the heart, all it is. Read it, share it, do all those things. And the more engagement the story gets, the better chance we have of talking about it in the next iteration. So today, the 8 stories we gave to you for this iteration came from the top 15 stories from yesterday, a tiny bit of today, a few hours before, about 4 in the morning to pull them up. And then we pulled 8 of those stories to present to you that we thought were most deeming endearing. You can make this happen by going to facebook.com/this is a conversation project and x.com, twitter.com/th_conversation and just engage in the story. Will we talk this one up like we talked about yesterday's story about Kim Jong-un's little sister saying that South Koreans need to worry about what they're doing? Here's the headline. Mounjaro beats Ozempic for weight loss in first head-to-head comparison of real-world use. This is a story that's been floating around basically since the later part of last week, and now it's getting some prominence in the Monday news cycle. So we're late to the party, if you will, putting out there. But what we have learned over the course of years of doing news articles in this fashion, where we go to what we put out there to get engagement to and what actually gets engaged in, is sometimes it takes a while from some stories to actually pick up some traction, especially if all we're talking about is Joe Biden all the time. So this one we think is now the great time to talk about it, because now you may be a bit Biden fatigued and will be more interested in this one. So will this be one of the headlines we'll talk about, the 8 stories in things you might have heard for tomorrow? You make it happen. Engage in the story as it's in the feeds. I believe it's already posted right now if you're watching this live when we do our live feed of this program at 5:50 in the morning. I believe it's already in there, like fresh and brand new, right about 6 o'clock. Otherwise, go search for it, go look for it, see if your actual embeds give it to you, because it's something that is interesting to you, and give us an emoji face so we can get your vote for using it or not going forward. But that's how the teasers work. That's how the stories go forward work. You literally make it happen. Let's right now go to our sponsor story, sponsor for the week, and it is Hostage Tape. Hostage Tape is the very silly name for a very serious product. And as I told you yesterday, when Hostage Tape does their things, they usually do them with a lot of precision, a lot of finesse, and just a lot of just pure anarchy, to be honest. What happened this past weekend was Hostage Tape actually had another big sale. They're giving you 2 months of product free if you bought a 4-month supply. And it went wild. It went big. So right now they are fulfilling those orders. So you can't get that deal right now. It went dead come Sunday. But since you want to get in on this deal, you might want to check them out for their regular deals and a subscription to regular Hostage Tape. You might not need 4-month supply sitting on your shelf. You might not need 6-month supply sitting on your shelf, but you probably need a couple weeks worth of Hostage Tape strips for your mouth and strips for your nose. What do? They help you keep your mouth closed, which forces you to breathe through your mouth, and they open the nostrils into your nose to help you breathe better through your mouth. That's simple. For regular day-to-day stuff, for exercise, for sleep, it will help you get more air into your lungs and save you from the whole snoring thing with spouses, because they can sleep because it releases your snoring. This is a very simple product, and you should check it out and see what's going on as well. We have a deal for you, and we get a deal because this link we have is an affiliate link, which gets us a small commission for your use. Go to this. It's theconversationproject.com/hostage tape. This is theconversationproject.com/hostage tape, and get in on the deal that we have for you today. It's not the big 2 months for 4 months free, 2 months free for 4 months. That one is gone. So next time that pulls up, we'll try to get you ahead of that game. But we want you to check out Hostage Tape and go to our website and see some more details on other sponsors, many other sponsors that will take good care of you. They'll also take care of us in the process of taking care of you. Let's take a moment to spotlight the Conversation Project and talk about us together, the joint us. We have a great relationship with you out there as people who love the Conversation Project and go to the feeds and give us the love and the hate and the frustration and all the emojis we need to tell us what stories to talk about. We also have a great relationship with people who want to be more involved in the Conversation Project, make this thing grow. So if you are a person who deem us worthy of that, check out our partnerships page at the website. This is theconversationproject.com/partnerships, and consider being a partner. various levels of partnerships. Right now, if you're watching a video, there's a scroll that has the cup of coffee level, the $5 level, going people who are contributing, have been contributing for a while. There's various levels to give to where you will give us a little bit of something. We'll give you insights to how things are going. And of course, you get first dibs to complain about it. And there are complaints. Now, you can still complain about it for free by simply go to your email machine, emailing us. This is theconversationproject.com is our website. You can come right there. Email us, conversationinbox@gmail.com. Absolutely free. Now, all we're asking for you to do, partnerships are great. Checking out sponsors is great. Going to the website and following us is something you can do for free to get us more eyeballs, more places. The big important thing is to email us with your comments and concerns so we can work on that. That's free. And follow us on our feeds on Facebook and X and let us know what stories to talk about. That also free. But that's the most important thing. We can't do this without you because we need you to help us pick the stories. It is literally that simple. We need you to tell us what to talk about every day, every day, every day. And with that, the news is done. The business is done. Let's move on to the fun stuff. It is time to get to things you might ought to know for this day, which is Tuesday, the 9th of July, 2024. We are 7 months into this or in the 7th month into this year, and we are having a blast, and we are happy. We are ecstatic and thrilled that we are building on the legacy of stuff we've been doing for a while and here in the newer location. So we're glad that you're enjoying what's going on. We get your comments, what's going on. We know this makes it a longer show, but I think it adds to the show, and we're doing less of the longer stuff. And we may, at some point in time, split this up into 2 vehicles. That requires a whole lot of support from you guys and a whole lot of support for either sponsorships or partnerships so I can put more time aside to doing other things. Day job pays fairly well, and it's fairly lucrative to do. I'd love to do more of this stuff, but just, just like every artist can't go out and live on their art, this is my art. I can't live on it. So enough complaining. Let's actually get to the fun stuff because you're not here for complaints. You are actually here for my entertainment. So let me just get to that. Sorry for the rambling. Let's get to the birthdays, the funnest part of the day things, because birthdays are always fun. Get your name called out for something you've done. Living another year is awesome. Starting off with Kevin O'Leary, who is 70 years old today. Kevin O'Leary, who is a star of the Shark Tank and a very well called on analyst for the media for money things. Kevin O'Leary has a checkered past, of course, and you can kind of Wikipedia or check that out and see where it's going. But he has been successful. He has made money, has made some people some money. He's also has a checkered past. So check that out so you know a little more about him. But he taking the top rank as the oldest person we're highlighting today for at 7 years old. The nicest person in the world, who some people say isn't quite that nice because, if everybody loves you, then something's going wrong, is Tom Hanks, who's 68 years old on the day. Love to him. And the third or fourth nicest person in the world, Fred Savage. Not quite there, but may make you feel old because Boy Meets World is getting older. We're all getting older. He's 48 years old on the day. Not Boy Meets World, I'm sorry. It's Ben Savage. Fred Savage, his older brother, is older than that guy. Sorry about that. Apologies to that. Fred Savage, the other guy from the Wonder Years, not the guy from Boy Meets World, is 48 years old today. Let's move on to our history lesson. Things that happened on this July 9th, back in the day. Starting off in 1985, where football great Joe Namath signed a 5-year pact with ABC TV to provide commentary for Monday Night Football. The former New York Jets quarterback reportedly earned $1 million a year for that job. Big deal back in 85. Back in 1997, another big deal, boxer Mike Tyson was banned from the ring and fined $3 million, a whole lot of money, on the incident when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear. You might remember that. Kids, if you're a bit too young for that, go Google it and wonder what's going to happen when he fights Jake Paul eventually. Maybe he'll bite off more than his ear. We shall see. And in 2018, Starbucks announced it would stop using plastic straws by 2020, which it has, reducing the use of by more than $1 billion one million straws in the year. What they've gone to is the elimination of the straw, now the plastic sippy cup top, along with the other plastic sippy cup top for hot drinks, also for cold drinks as well. We're going to learn something today, brought to you by the Big Words Project, another project under the umbrella of More Better Media. Today's big word, brought to you by the Big Words Project at bigwordsproject.com, is engram. Engram is a presumed encoding in neural tissue, that's your brain, that provides a physical basis for the persistence of memory, a memory trace. So, used in a sentence, the concept of the engram suggests that every experience we have leaves a physical imprint on our neural circuitry. That's the word too. Now, what this is there's a belief that as your brain learns stuff, as new things come in, it literally writes things on your brain as essentially depressions or lines or things. It's an actual encoding on your brain. It's a physical encoding in your brain. The smarter people are, the more lumps and more lines, more things like that. That is what we're coming with here. So engram, your word for the day. Try to use that in a sentence. Use it in a smart way. Use it in a silly way. See if you can, use it in a sentence and impress your friends and throttle your enemies with your great vocabulary. Yes, I said that. Today's daily affirmation, a bit of positivity to help you feel a little better if you're feeling down, goes like this. Repeat this to yourself if you're not feeling so great about this. Challenges help me grow and become better. This affirmation. This affirmation helps reduce negative thoughts in your mind. It recognizes that challenges as growth opportunities can significantly reduce negative thoughts, allowing you to view difficulties with more positive outlook and become more aware of your patterns and your feelings. You can see more of what's going on in your life, and you can see the challenges ahead of you, and they actually help you grow and do better over time. Challenges are a good thing because iron sharpens iron. You get stronger, you get better if you can work through your challenges. And we always wrap up with celebrations, and there are multiple because we are calling today's official celebration Cow Appreciation Day. This is a day where Chick-fil-A made up a day. So Chick-fil-A made this up. This is the day where you'll see people at Chick-fil-A's dress up as cows trying to get free meals, and they'll give out lots of cow toys, things like that. So let's not get it twisted. Cows are awesome. Burgers are great, but this is a day not so much for celebrating actual cows, but celebrating the cow mascots at Chick-fil-A. If you need an alternate celebration, here's a couple. One called Don't Put All Your Eggs in One Omelet Day, which seems a bit like common sense, but some reason they put it on the calendar, and Sugar Cookie Day. So if you're not down for a burger or chicken, no one can really resist a good sugar cookie, except for the ones that have the extra frosting on them, because those are really, really going to drain you and get your sugar high up there. But just get a regular sugar cookie, maybe a snickerdoodle. I sneak in snickerdoodles anytime I can, and just enjoy the day, that day, if you're not down with Cow Appreciation Day. And we've done it. We've wrapped it up. We've gotten through both things you might have heard and things you might ought to know for this Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, telling you to stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for all the grand things you are here to do on this great planet, including just hanging out here. Hang out here as much as you can. We'll leave the light on, leave the chairs open. You can stay a little late. Just make sure you lock up and close the door. Close the refrigerator at night. So we have issues with that sometimes. We love you. We mean it so much. We want you to be here for more great things. We want you to consider being a partner. That'd be nice. We want you to consider going to our sponsors and checking them out. And we ask you profusely to email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and follow the feeds to give us news stories every single day. That's it. We're done for the day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Tell us how we're doing, good, bad, or indifferent. And just have a grand spanking great day today if you can.